Welcome to ChiroSpring. We are extremely excited to have you watching our video demo. Now, you came here for a reason. You're probably frustrated with your current software. Maybe things just aren't going smoothly for you. Excellent news. You have found the #1 cloud-based chiropractic software on the market. We're also the highest rated with 5 out of 5 stars across the board, and we're used by over 1,000 chiropractors in all 50 states. ChiroSpring has been around for almost a decade, and we continue adding new and innovative features, which keeps pushing us as the #1 moving forward into the next decade. ChiroSpring was designed by a chiropractor, a Palmer graduate, with the mindset of making everything super simple. That's the issue that we found with a lot of systems out there, is that they might have lots of features, but they're way too complicated to use. And honestly, that's just slowing you down. So let's show you what ChiroSpring can do. Trust me, you're going to like this. So before we get into the actual software, let's just go ahead and walk through a patient scenario as if they found you online. So patients can book online. You'll post a link on your website, and they can actually see in real time availability. I've actually selected new patient visit for this particular provider, and the software knows which time slots are available for a new patient visit. We're going to go ahead and select here, and I'm just going to type in a name, Tom Smith, and we'll select a random birth date. And put this in here. And the nice thing about when patients are booking, they don't actually have to remember passwords or anything like that. This is just information that they have. And the appointment is now booked. It's sending a notification to the patient that just says that there is a pending request, and the provider now received an email. Now the provider can go into their Manage Appointments queue, and they will see that this appointment will come in there. So we'll go ahead and refresh this. There it is, Tom Smith, and we're going to go ahead and click the Unmatched, and the software tries its best to match the patient. There's nobody in the system named Tom Smith, and if we search, we certainly cannot find one. So the software was right in not auto-matching that. Because we were not able to manually match it, we just go ahead and click Confirm the unmatched patient, which will also create a new appointment. Or I'm sorry, create a new patient. That's it. Now, Tom is going to receive an email that the appointment's confirmed, and when we go into ChiroSpring, we'll go ahead and jump to the calendar, and we'll see that that patient is now there. There's Tom Smith. He's now on the front desk. Now this is a new patient, so we can do a couple really interesting things. I can also go ahead and send this patient a web link so the patient can fill out all of their subjective information from home prior to their visit. Now what's really nice is I know that the patient currently has not completed that. This dot will actually turn black when they have completed the kiosk. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and log into the email, and we'll go ahead and see what it's like for Tom to access that patient kiosk from home. Okay, so here's the email that the patient receives. We're going to click on that, and the patient is going to type in their birth date and their phone number, and we're going to authenticate them. So this is highly secure, and they're going to select voice or text to get a verification code. This will go to their cell phone. And I received the code 044700. And just like that, the patient is now filling out all of their subjective information from home. So this is super awesome. Now what's great about our kiosk is you can actually customize this. You can remove any sections you do not want present. You can also set sections to display on the first visit only if that is something you want to collect. So demographics, for example, would be something you'd want to set up for the first visit. So we're not going to go through every single section here, but again, lots of customization. We can add address in here, so let's just go ahead and add an address. And you'll notice that we auto-save our changes in real time. So as the patient is going through this, they are automatically saving. And also notice that there's required fields. So gender is specified as required. This, of course, helps you out with insurance, so you're not getting rejections with missing gender. Enrollment, we'll go ahead and say that they want text reminders. Demographics, for example, declines to specify, and left-handed. So real easy here. Let's go ahead and jump into complaints. We're going to do a patient complaint, and we'll say what caused our condition. Everything in here is customizable, so you can change anything on this. We'll just say it was a fall, and it was the month of January of 20, and we injured our right shoulder, and we have pain in there. We can also say how long it lasts. It's frequent, it's moderate, and what describes it? It's a deep, dull, radiating. What aggravates it? Exercise, jogging, and what improves it? We'll say ice. Again, all customizable. It's an 8 out of 10. I feel that constantly, and it's actually worse since onset. So very simple to create a complaint. We can go ahead and save and next. And if they have more complaints, they could hit yes here to create another. Let's jump over to additional intake. Now these are just example questions. Obviously you can write your own questions, very simple to do, and you can also do what is called a leading question, which is just a yes or a no. Did you go to the hospital for your personal injury? We'll just say no. Have you received any treatment since the injury? No. You can see these are also not in order. You can arrange the order. Were you involved in personal injury? Yes. When I hit yes, look at this. We have all kinds of different questions popping up, and this is really, really huge, because you can create intakes as long and lengthy as you want just by asking a few leading questions. Now, where does this intake go? It goes right into your subjective portion of the SOAP note. I mean, imagine the amount of time that you're going to save here. Automobile accident, yes. How many passengers? 3. No attorney. You get the idea. We're not going to go through all these. These are just examples. But again, you can make your own intake questions. Review systems is there if you want to see it. Acknowledgments, you can upload HIPAA policies, things like that. Patient agrees to these, and it's as simple as that. So a complete paperless practice. Press finish. Again, in this example here, the patient's at home. And here we are back in the ChiroSpring side. And patient eventually walks in maybe an hour or 2 hours later. We'll see that that dot is turned black. So I know Tom has completed the kiosk. We can now check him in. Now let's go ahead and get the patient's insurance. Let's show you how fast that is. We're going to go to insurance cases, and I'm just going to go ahead and add a new case, and we'll say that they have Blue Cross, and we're going to edit their primary insurance, copy patient info, policy info, Blue Cross, ID number, and this patient actually has a $20 copay. That simple. We can do visit limits if we want to reset those. We're doing 20 chiropractic visits a year and then maybe 10 therapies. So we have counters for that. We track deductible, everything you would expect. That's it. We're going to save that, set that as our default case. Patient's insurance is in. That simple. And now we're going to go ahead and check in Tom. The software is noticing that we didn't have that insurance selected when we scheduled the appointment, but it was smart enough to ask if we wanted to. And now here we go. We're editing the SOAP. So once the patient's checked in, again, we do the edit SOAP portion. And our SOAP note is designed to be subjective objective assessment plan on the left, tabs along the top. Really simple here. We won't go through everything, but let's just jump to complaint. We can see that complaint. If you want to change it, maybe it was a 7 out of 10, and then we found another relieving factor was RAPS. That easy. There's our patient intake. It's question and answer format. Okay, just like making it easy for the doctor to read. But in the actual SOAP note, that's going to be more of a narrative. We also have macros, so you can go through any of these macros. There's a title at the top or a question. Make your choices. and this is going to type sentences for us. So we don't have to do any typing. And what's great is you can create your own macros, edit our macros, share macros with the community, and so forth. Okay, so let's go ahead and adjust our patient today. We can adjust a rib, do a leg check, and we're going to go ahead and say we had some pain and asymmetry in these areas. Okay, and I'm kind of going fast on purpose here just to show you how fast we can do this. If this was an exam, we could do things like range of motion, normal, increase, decrease pain, normal, normal, and so forth. Go into thoracic, and you kind of get the idea how this works. So honestly, no typing whatsoever. We're documenting all of this. We can do reflexes, grade those, and just look at this. Touch interface the whole way through. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish that. Orthopedic test, everything you would expect in the system. Here's our diagnosis. I've already created some common codes that we use. And we'll go ahead and say date of current illness was yesterday. And then let's just go into a charge. So today we did a 3 to 4 region, and then maybe we did some x-rays and we did an exam, just like that. If we want, we can do a treatment plan 3 times a week for 4 weeks. And I'm going to go ahead and sign my note. I'm done. That's it. That dot turns black to indicate it's done. We can move our patient to awaiting checkout, and now the staff will check out our patient. Doctor is now seeing the next patient. So the flow of this is very, very simple, very seamless. At the checkout, the cash register opens. We can go ahead and sell Tom a BioFreeze while we're here. Notice there's no appointment, so I'm going to jump to the calendar, and we're going to get Tom in tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay, just like that. Mine defaults to adjustment. Close, and then now let's go ahead and take our payments. Previously owed 0, this is what he owes today. And we're just going to take that payment, $39.26, and issue the patient a receipt. Okay, receipts also serve as super bills, so you can show diagnosis or things on those, or you can also hide that if you don't want that shown on the receipt. That's it. Let's look at that note now. Go to dashboard. There's our SOAP notes. This is what I refer to as the paper SOAP note. And as I mentioned, that patient intake is not in question answer format. This is a huge time saver for you. So as detailed as you want to get on those intakes, you can have your patient doing all that. Remember, our patient did the complaint for us as well. There's all that objective information. There's our listings. If you're doing Medicare, there's our pain and asymmetry for part evaluations. Our notes are very, very clean and organized. There's our treatment plan, charges, and of course the diagnosis up here, and my signature. If you ever need to go back in, you can edit the note at any time. Very simple. Once that note is signed, it creates a claim. How do we submit claims? Super simple. Honestly, there's no reason to overcomplicate software. Let's look at Tom's claim. We're going to view the highlighted. There it is, a CMS 1500 form. You're all familiar with that. And let's submit this. This is how simple it is. Click on here, process check claims, upload it FTP to your clearinghouse, and there it goes. Obviously, you would probably select all these and send them all at once, but I'm just going to do just this one claim so you can see how the process works. You can submit your claims once a day if you want, because it is that simple. Uploading the claim via FTP, and here we go. It's done. Mark it as billed. Once I do that, the status changed to primary billed, and when I close and reopen, you'll see that Tom Smith is no longer there because he's been billed. So that's how that process works. Once we get paid, we get that remittance back. We go to reconcile. This is extremely simple. Do a new remittance, and then you can do the paper or the ERA. Upload an ERA from your clearinghouse, and let's just assume there's 1,000 charges on there. All 1,000 charges will get posted. Maybe there will be 5 that were denied. Those ones get flagged with red exclamation marks, and you go in and you manually change those or fix those. So reconciling has never been faster. Okay, now let's take a look at the Statements app. Patients will inevitably owe you money at some point in time, and this app shows us every single patient with a balance. You can use filters on the left if you like to hide or show collections patients, or you can even exclude patients that do not have charges that are reconciled. So for example, if you submitted x-rays to insurance, you probably don't want to bill that to your patient until you've gotten the remittance back. We're going to go ahead and create one for one patient to show you how this works. Go to the On Build section and print and process. Statement shows your address here, patient's address here. In this case, we actually did not collect the address. So you can get a double-paned envelope, so there's absolutely nothing for you to write. Patients can put their credit card information if they want, and then it lists all of the charges. Shows everything that patients paid so far and what they currently owe. Very, very detailed. And there's also aging amounts, so the patient knows, in this case, $499.17 is 121 plus days old. Now we can jump to reports. We have over 40 reports in ChiroSpring to track all of the statistics that you might be interested in. You can track patient visits, you can look at accounts receivable, how much sales you had. We even have user earnings reports, so if you have therapists or other doctors in your practice, you can track exactly down to the penny how much they've earned. Birth date reports, we have a missing in action report, so you can track patients that are no longer coming in to see you. So everything that you need is in the Reports app. Tasks is just a really nice way to create post-it notes if you want to think of it that way. You can create any group and assign these to anybody in the practice. Once something's complete, you can mark it as such. If we jump into settings, this is where we customize the software. Notice how very detailed this is and very user-friendly. You can create visit types, customize your SOAP macros, customize your spinal listings, create different rooms for your patient flow, which I haven't even shown you that yet. Everything in here is extremely simple. Add different products and services, change prices, create fee schedules. In the insurance, you can edit allowed amounts so that you can actually estimate with coinsurance the exact amount that the patient would owe. Our software is also integrated with the remindercall.com, so you have appointment reminders that happen seamlessly, and we're integrated with OpenEdge, so if you want to store credit cards on file, create scheduled recurring payments, you can do all of that. If we jump into the launcher, you'll see additional apps, including the one that I really like, the Help Center. This gives you 24/7 access to over 600 custom articles that we've written with a Google type search interface. So if there's something that you just want an answer to immediately, such as how do I resubmit a charge, we've already created an article for you, so there's nothing for you to even ask. So our Help Center gets a lot of praise from our customers, just something to make it even easier for you. Again, ChiroSpring is already the #1 software in the industry in terms of customer satisfaction and features. We want you to do a personal demo with us so we can answer any additional questions that you might have, and I'm absolutely confident that you're going to love ChiroSpring. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.